Let's talk about variety. The third v third v means the types of data. We are having structured and unstructured, two types of structured data. One is structured and the second one is unstructured. Structured means anything is in the form of tables, organized. That means you can use SQL. A lot of people, they will know SQL, but they don't know why we will use the SQL. SQL is used for structured data. Structured data means any data is in the form of tables, like sales, anything is in the form of tables. They will organize and they will send to the databases. Then you can retrieve and you can analyze the data. What the work of data engineers? They will collect the data from the different places, different sources. That means data lakes, data warehouses, and they will store in the databases using pipelines. That all this data is structured data. And if you come to unstructured data, complex formats, that means it will be in the dictionaries like key value pairs, text, images, videos, all these things which comes to unstructured data. It is little bit complex comparing to the structured data. That means if you want to analyze videos and images, it's a little bit tough text data. But if you come to structured data, anything is in the form of tables. You can easily convert into plots. Got it? Let's see what are some few examples. Customer transaction. How many number of transactions have had he has completed, he has done in the 1 month. So you can set this in the tables. How many number of transactions he has done in the one particular mart. It is very easy to analyze. If you come to this complex formats, text and images and videos, it requires NLP and machine learning. What is NLP? Natural language processing. Natural language, if I don't know whether you heard, I think more we know about ChatGPT, AI tools, right? Cloud, ChatGPT, Gemini. All these tools are working behind. What is behind of these tools? NLP, natural language processing. NLP means it will completely work through text data. If you are giving one text, suppose if I am going to ChatGPT, I will write something. Who is Sunil Gavaskar? I will write. Then how it is giving the output. Sunil Gavaskar is a cricket player. He is a coach of India. It will give the output from start to end, from his date of birth to whatever he achieved. How it is getting. Even if you go to Google, you will write, you will set something. It will you are getting the output. How it is working. The algorithms behind Google search, Gemini in AI tools is NLP, natural language processing. Anything related to text, it is related to natural language processing. Anything related to images and videos, I don't know whether you know DALI, it will DALI, Googly, all these are for images and videos. If you just write a text, I want professional photo, it will generate one professional photo. If you give any kind of photo from yours side, it will generate a professional photo. So this is how it will work. It's little bit tough, but if you are using it, is not tough. If you are creating, if you are working with that, it will be tough. Complex, not impossible, complex. Comparing to the which one we are comparing? We are comparing the structured data. I am not telling impossible. I am just mentioning complex. Comparing to the structured data. Okay. Yeah. If you want to analyze or if you want to do anything, first you want the first point is data. Data sources. What are the data sources we are having? We are having two types of data sources. One is static, that means something happened in the previous, in the past. Historical data. Suppose if you go and see in any sales, you will get the sales data. Whatever, how many number of products sold in the previous days, in the previous year, in the previous decade. Every data is stored in the databases. That's what the static means. And you will analyze the data. Based on that, you can take decision whether you want to start any new branch and what kind of products you can keep this, you can bring the stock, everything you can take the decision. Then if you come to dynamic, real-time feed sensor like social media, the examples for this is like Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. Okay, these are all the real-time. real time data. That means every time it will generate, second to second the data will get generated. You want to take immediate decisions. 69 out of 100 percentage of the companies, 69 percentage of the companies in one dynamic data only, not static data. 64 percentage of the data, 64 percentage of the companies depending on the dynamic data. That means it is generated through sensors or social media. Let me give one example how we will use sensors to collect the data. Suppose if you understand windmills, if you observe windmills, after suppose the windmill height is 150 feet, they will put one sensor in 30 feet and 60 feet and 90 feet and 120 feet and at the end 150 feet. Why were they are putting these many number of sensors means they will, it will, the sensors will observe, note the data, what is the flow of air, what is the wind flow. It will collect the data whenever it will sends to our databases. It will, you will get the data into files. Once you get the data into files, you will analyze this. I have worked on one project which is related to windmills. So you will get the data through sensors. That means it will take the data through sensors. Once it is gated, it will create one text file. That will comes to our systems. So we will analyze the data and we will give predictions what will be the airflow on the next month based on this previous month. What are the trends, what are the flow will, is there any chance to get the airflow will increase or not. So we will take these kind of decisions based on that. Once we pass this decision to their clients, so they will take, okay, what are the measures we can take for this. Do you want to expand or not? Do you want to take any securities, other we lost any one sensor in the windmill, whether we are getting the data from in every sensor or not. They will understand everything. If we are not getting any data from this one sensor, then that means something is happening with the sensor, whether it is damaged or something is happening. Then automatically he will understand, he will go and see something happen, whether it is working or not. So you can understand everything. We can use the sensor to collect the data. This is just an example windmill. Now, legacy system. What are the limitations and challenges? Why we are going for big data? Why not in the normal? Suppose if you are not using big data, you cannot handle large volumes of data, right? And in the same way, what is the challenges you will face? Low scalability and the power. If you are not using big data, the cost is very high. If you are using cloud, the cost is very high, and you have to take a lot of things. You will face a lot of issues whenever you are adding large type of data. If you see here one case study, company is spending around $1.5 million yearly on maintenance. For maintaining the data, these cloud and big data tools, they are spending $5 million per year. Okay. Let's see. Okay, we know what is mean by the data, why we are going for big data. Once we know that, how it will process, how it will process the data. Why we are not able to do the same thing in the normal systems. Let's see how it will process. First, once you get the data, it is stored in the databases. Then it will divide into parts, data division. It will split into parts. Once it is done, it will process parallelly. Instead of processing everything at a time, it will process once you divide into, suppose, let's take an example. You are having one database, one data. That data is 1,000 rows. Let's assume it is 1,000 rows. If it is 1,000 rows, instead of processing entire 1,000 rows, divide this into 100, then process it. Once you divide into 100, that is the first step. Then you can parallelly pass this 100 rows. Then it is very easy comparing to the passing processing 1000 rows. Then the next one is key technologies. What are the technologies we will use in the big data? That means Hadoop, Spark, cloud computing to make your data very faster. Hadoop is there, Airflow, Apache Airflow, and Apache Spark. Then next, Airflow is there. There are a lot. Kafka. There are a lot of big data tools. Let's take an example. Apache Spark. I don't know whether you heard about this. If you compare to the normal systems, Apache is a company. Apache Spark is a tool in big data. Apache is a company. That company implemented Spark tool. Compared to the remaining tools, Apache Spark will process 100 times faster than the remaining traditional systems. 100 times faster. That's the reason data breaks everything they will use Spark for data processing. Now, few advanced frameworks for data lakes. Suppose if you want data, you have to get from somewhere else. Then if you want to get it, what the work of data engineers, they will collect the data from the data lakes or data warehouses. It is like however we are having warehouse, that means if for any products, every product we are having one warehouse, they will store all the products in warehouse. In the same way for data we are having warehouse and data lakes. How they will get the data from data lakes or warehouses means they will use pipelines to get the data from there to your systems. Once you get the data from there, you will integrate using ETL, extract transfer load. What is the full form of extract? ETL means extract transfer load. I will tell you what is this. Extract means you will extract the data from somewhere else to your systems. Then next you will transfer the data. T means transfer. You will transfer the data into useful formats. Okay. Then you will load the data. You can analyze now. Once you load the data into your systems, then you can analyze it. That is how it will work AI integration. The next, what are the popular tools for that? Snowflake. I don't. From past 2 to 3 years, the demand of getting very high. Snowflake. The next, Databricks. Already I have mentioned in the previous slide Databricks. The why we are use Databricks means you can use Apache Spark in this for processing the data very fast. That means 100 times faster than the remaining traditional systems. And everything will done in the cloud. You have to use one cloud. You can use AWS or Azure. Mostly for data, everyone will use Azure. Then the second preference is AWS also. Then the last preference will belongs to GCP, Google Cloud Platform. Let's see what's the overview of data industry. Overview: the data is industry is rapidly evolving. After corona it is very high. Before and all it is little bit okay, but after corona the demand is very high for data because we are generating a lot of data. And the cloud of the demand of cloud is because we are working through homes at that time. In the everything we want to store in the cloud, so the demand is got increased for data, that we are generating a lot of data. Then you are generating the data. Once you generate it, you can collect that, you will understand, that means you will analyze the data. Once you analyze it, you can leverage your companies, you can take decisions, better decisions to you grow your companies in this competitive. Okay, if you want to become a data analyst, what are the skills you require? Data analyst is high demand role. So what are the skills you require? The skills is first SQL. The second one is why. I will tell you why we require SQL. The full form of SQL is structured query language. Why we require SQL means you have to retrieve the data from the data bases. Then if you want to retrieve the data from the databases, you require SQL. Then next, why Python and R? Python R are programming languages. You can use whichever you want based on the whichever you want. You can analyze the data using Python. You can write the code. Data visualizations and statistics. Data visualizations, you can create dashboards by using Power BI, Tableau, DJ3s. You can use these tools to create a dashboard. You can showcase this to your clients to understand what happened in that past data. Okay, why we require statistics means you will apply few statistics and tests. That means mean, median, mode, and what kind of distributions it is. We will apply these things to find insights from the data. Okay, what are the responsibilities of data analyst? You will collect the data and you will clean it. What is mean by cleaning? Cleaning means converting raw data into actionable intelligence. What is that? It's a little bit tough to understand, right? So that's the let me explain in detail. Cleaning means, is there any null values, is there any unnecessary data? You will remove that, you will convert into useful format. Then once you clean the data, you will analyze. That means understanding the data. You will understand the data, what going to happen, why the sales is happened very high in the last month, why this product of sales came to down. You will understand this, you will analyze the data, then you will create a report, whatever the insights you found from the data. These are the responsibilities of data analyst. What is the job market? If we see in the job market, 25% of the growth, 25% growth in the next decades. Not only in the next decade, if you see in 2021 to 2025, there are a lot of openings for data analysts compared to the 2020. Every company is looking for one data analyst. Even if it is a startup, the company strength is 10 members. One position is for data analyst fixed because they have to analyze the data, what going in their company. What is the impact of that means? You can take data driven companies attract 23 times more customers. Once you understand what are the projects you are working on it, what doing in your company, then you will understand what kind of clients you can connect with. Once you understand it, you can check for that type of clients. Then you can connect with them. This is what we are doing. Let's collaborate. This is how it will work. Now, what are the career growth and future trends of learning? If you learn data analytics, what are the careers you can start? You can become a data scientist. You can become a data engineer. You can become machine learning engineer. In the same way, there is one more called business analyst you can become. If you want to become data analyst, what are the emerging you have to focus on? You have to focus on AI and cloud. You should get little bit knowledge on these things, how they what AI and what is cloud computing, how it will work, what is the cyber security, and you can do some certification from the reputed companies, product based companies like Google and Microsoft. Okay, yeah, that's all. Okay. As of now, we just had a discussion about the theory part, right? Let me show you one practical. I will show you one code demo. How we can do that. Whatever we learned in the technical, how we can do that in the practical. Let me show you. I will show you one project. Okay. The project is the project is whether the person is having. Let me share my screen. If you see here, this project is whether the person is having heart disease or not. So I have a data. I have created a code for this. So now what I'm doing is I am giving prediction for whether the person is having heart disease or not based on his few factors. That means few information. Let's see. There are 14 columns in the data set like patient ID, unique random identifier. Okay, these are the columns we are having like what is the blood pressure of the person and what is the chest pain type. Okay, then what are the major vessels for him and what is the blood sugar and cholesterol, everything. These are the columns we are having. Now if we observe, these are the columns we are having. Okay, what is the blood pressure of the person, what is the chest type, and what are the number of major vessels he is having, is there any number of major vessels, and what is the serum cholesterol of that person. Okay, what is the age and whether he is a male or female. Male means 0 and female means 1. Okay, what is the maximum heart rate achieved as of now for him. Okay, then this is your output column, whether the person is having heart disease or not. Okay, we are having this data, then we can analyze what kind of persons, and whenever they are, whether that particular person is having high heart rate, whether is there any chance to get that heart disease. We can analyze. First, this is the data I'm having in two data sets. Now I am combining the both data sets into one. Once I combine the both data sets into one, then I can analyze the data. If you want to, so here I am using Python for analyzing the data. Let me explain one by one step. Okay, once I analyze the data, once I uploaded the data into my files, then I use the function called head. What is the working of that head function? Means it will show the top 5 rows in the data set. Then next I want to show what are the last 5 rows in the data set. These are my last 5 rows in the data set. Then I will use tile function. Then if I want to know how many number of columns we are having on how many number of rows we are having, then you can use shape function. It will return how many number of rows and how many number of columns. Here we are having 180 rows in the entire data set and we are having 15 columns. Now, if you want to know what are the column names, then you can use the function called df.columns. Then it will return what are the columns we are having. If you observe here, we are having patient ID is the one column and slope of the peak exercise segment, and the third one is tall. The fourth one is resting blood pressure. What is the blood pressure of that person? And chest pain type, number of major vessels, and resting EKG results. And next, what is the sex of that person, whether male or female, what is the age of the person, and what is the heart rate present, heart disease present, whether the person is having heart disease or not. Okay, now if you want this entire information, we are having one function called info function. If you use that, you will get column names. Then next, is there any null value, it will get. Okay, it will show how many non-null values you are having, and it will show the what type of data it is, whether it is a numerical data or categorical data. Okay, now if you use n unique function, it will show how many number of unique values. Unique values means, suppose I am having 1 2 3 1. How many number of values we are having? 1 2 3 1 means 4 values we are having, but one is repeated 2 times. That means it will consider it as a total 3 values. It won't consider it as a 4 values. It will just consider it as a 3 values. 1 2 3 it will consider. It won't take two second time one. Okay. Then describe means it will show the basic mathematics of each and every column. Basic mathematics means how many number of rows we are having. First one count. What is the mean of each and every column, and what is the standard deviation of each and every column, and it will show the minimum and maximum values of the each and every column. Okay. Yeah. Now, here the main work of data analyst will start. You have to analyze the data. How you can analyze? By looking, by creating the plots, you can analyze. Let's see. Here I have separated the data into three parts. One is continuous data, that means the numerical. The second one is discrete data. The third one is categorical data. That means anything is in the sex, say sex, male or female. Okay, this type of data is called categorical data. Now I have separated, I have created few plots. If you see here, resting blood pressure, this is a one column. Now, what we can observe from this, most of the resting blood pressure ranges between 110 to 160. Okay, otherwise, what you can tell, 110 to 140, most of the people out of 180 members, 120 members having resting blood pressure between common blood pressure they are having between 110 to 140. Few members are having 140 to 160, right? But few people, that means around 180, 5 members is having above 170. This is the plot. This is the insight we can understand from this data. Okay, If you come to this cholesterol, most of the people are having the cholesterol between 200 to 300. What is the plot? The count is very high. Around 200 to 300, most of the people are having cholesterol. Few members are having less than 200, few members are having greater than 3 times. And there are a lot of plots. If you see here, what is the maximum heart rate achieved? Lot of members they have achieved 160, 170. What is the highest maximum rate achieved? 160. At 160 higher heart rate is very high comparing to the remaining. Few people achieved 180 also. One guy achieved, one or two members achieved 200 as well. But most of the people achieved 160 out of 180 members. This is the insight we can find from this. Okay, see here, most of the blood pressure ranges from 110 to 140. Serum cholesterol ranges from 200 to 300 for most of the people. And measure of electrocardiogram is mainly in the 4 levels. Okay, the maximum heart rate achieved the person between 120 to 180. Okay, these are the insight we are getting from the data. Now, now I will analyze the discrete data. That means 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. That means categorical data. If you see here, there are 3 categories. Slow peak of the exercise ST segment. Okay, most of the people are belongs to first category, and second category is less members. Suppose if I take this as a 90 members and this is 60, around I am getting 60 to 70, and few people are belongs to third category. If we come to chest pain, there are 4 types of chest pains. One, two, three, four. Most of the people are belongs to fourth category type of chest pain. Okay, here everything is in the starting written. What are the types of chest pains? Everything starting in the written. So you can consider what are the types of chest pains. Then next, number of major vessels. How many number of vessels they are having? So lot of people they don't have any vessels, but few of them are having one, and around 20 members having out of 180, 20 members having two vessels, and 15 members is having three vessels. So by looking at this picture, what you can observe, lot of members, that means around out of 180, 105 members they don't have any major vessels. Then if we come to blood pressure, okay, if we come to blood pressure, no members around 180 they don't have greater than 120. Okay, they don't have greater than 120. Around 145 members they don't have greater than 120. Few of them are have greater than 120. Okay, we are having 180 members of the data. Okay, we are having 180 members of data. Then in that 45 members are male, around 55 members are male, the remaining 120 members are females. Okay, this is the data we are having. How many number of males? 45 member 55 members are male and 125 members are females. We are having around 180 members data. Okay, then next if we come to this, how many number of out of 180 members, how many number of having heart disease? That means 100 members they don't have any heart disease. Zero means they don't have any heart disease. 100 members they don't have any heart disease. Only 80 members they are having heart disease. This is what the insights we are getting. If you observe here, everything I have written below.